Welcome to today's video where we are going to jump right into it, because the last time I tried to do an intro, and you guys know it was corny, well, my OBS didn't really like it and I didn't record any voice to it. So, no corny jokes, we're going to drive we're going to drive 120 miles an hour right into the topic, exactly. Anyways, Frenzy Feast 70k free-to-play low spender friendly guide, it's here. Before we start, I just want to say this though. The guide in itself is scalable, which means that you can use it in whichever phase that you are in your account, because everything that I'm going to say holds true for all the levels, right? The major thing that we have to understand is that when it comes to Frenzy Feast, your damage matters, right? Proper English, please. Which means that to do good damage, set stamp is going to be a big topic. Now, I'm not going to do a guide about set stamps because I already have one, a comprehensive one at that, and it's in the description down below. I want you to watch that one first if you don't know about the set stamps, how they work and everything else. Watch that first and then come back later, because then most of the things that I'm going to talk about here will make more sense when it comes to having stats on your character. That said, to keep it simple, when you are going into Frenzy Feast, no matter if you have a premium unit, no matter if you have a standard banner unit, no matter if it's a SR, you want to give them your best set stamps. And even if it's not the best, right? For example, Shika Ichigo. His best set stamp might not be Bankai Ichigo's, but this is the best roll stats that I have, so he gets them. When it comes to... Can I? Yeah. When it comes to Frenzy Feast, it doesn't matter who has which set stamps, because once I finish the run, I can swap them over to the next character, right? Of course, in this case, because they have a lot of ailment damage, you cannot give them over to Bankai Ichigo. But generally speaking, when you have 3 teams, and this is the biggest issue once you reach level 65, is being able to have 3 teams, you have to make the decision if you want to have specifically designed set stamps for that character that you're building, which is only applicable and only viable for your premium unit, by the way, or if you want to have more broad of a set stamp, for example, Inner Fang, right? Inner Fang for tacticians, it works on every tactician. Why? Because, well, it increases base attack and your battlefield skills increase the damage of themselves by a certain amount, and it stacks up to 5 times. Of course, if you have a Rukia who doesn't do battlefield skills every 10 seconds, or Uryu, then this set stamp won't be that useful, but you will still have the stats on them, right? And this is something that you have to be aware of, because the resources, I mean, I spent 3-4k Jade just to get set stamps properly, and just to level up the Shika Ichigo and Ranger, for example. And it's crazy how much stamina you can quote unquote waste just to get set stamps to a decent level, right? And all your damage is coming from them, if you're being honest. From that and from leveling up your skills. If you don't do that, then your damage will always be lacking and you won't be able to reach the 70k. And that's just the truth that you cannot circumvent. So, set stamps, highest priority when it comes to Frenzy Feast, if you like it or not, but that's just how it goes. Once you have your set stamps done, then we are going into analyzing the traits. Because most of the times, and I've seen this online a lot, people stress out way too much about the typings here. It is nice to have, and as a free-to-play, like in this case, there is no reason why you want to mismatch this, right? Take everything free, what the game gives you, and benefit from it. If it's enemy takes more slash damage, then build a team around that. If you don't have Byakuya, for example, right? And you have somebody else, you pulled for Kenny, you do double support, you have Yachiro for free, you do Shika Ichigo, Kisuke, Yachiro. at the end of the day, you have to only achieve 23k 300 something, right? To achieve the 27k split evenly. And because you have a bonus of 20%, it's good enough if you have a split like this. If you have a split like this, 25k and 26k, well, basically 26k here, you are at 52k already, which means you only need 18k. 18k means that you have to score 4k here, 5k here, you're already at 9k, and then here, if you can hit the max score, which you won't, but just saying, if you can, but the first three, it's not unreasonable to think 3k here, 4k here, you're at 7k, and then you say, like for example, another 4k here, and you're already at 14k, and you have more than enough here, because this is split 4k 4k, and when you do the end calculation. So even if you time out and you get another 6k in total with those two tiers here, you're well off to get the 70k done, right? So this is how you have to look at it. Also, this is always assuming that you don't have any premium unit. If I have Kenpachi here, for example, in this team, well, my score will be much higher. I will be able to add maybe 3k more, which alleviates the problem of having a way weaker team not being able to achieve 20k, for example. And the split that you have to do is based on the investments into your character. If my strongest team is Spirit, right? Yeah, Spirit. Let's go with Spirit. And my second strongest team is Slash. And my third strongest team is Strike. The question is, where do you put Spirit in? In here where you get 20% more, or in here where you don't have any boni, you know? Because in this case here, you need to have thrust to get benefits of both. So in this case here, you want to have your strongest team into the Spirit, into the thrust fight, right, against Urahara. And this is how you have to look at this stuff. Make an informed decision, where do you want to put your teams in, and then run it through. And now that you can reset it, now that you don't have a daily cap, you can do a full run through and then see, oh yeah, non-optimized, are you above 23k? If you are, your better team should be able to accumulate way more points than your free-to-play team, so that you can achieve the 70k. One thing I want to mention real quick though, and I want to showcase this real quick too, is when it comes to your characters, because I see this quite a lot. I mentioned set stamps quite a bit, but a lot of people overinvest in their characters, as they feel like because of the level discrepancy they have to invest a lot in their characters. It's true that there is damage differences, right? Because the higher the level, the more defense they have, the less damage you do. Let's see. We do what, 230 here, for example, crit, right? If I go down to 70, let's go 60 actually, because this is the 40 level difference you would experience once you reach level 65. If you crit, it's 30k less than you do on the level 100. And those 30k can ramp up to quite a bit of damage over time, right? But that part there, don't stress about it. If you have good set stamps, don't stress about it. And to showcase this, we're going to jump right into it. I will showcase this with Renji. I'm not going to play optimally here, I'm just going to play it just to showcase and just walk you through here, right? Because in the end, even if you time out, it doesn't really matter. We can jump up here, we will switch into him, Gigai here, bring up our ultimate, and I don't like this team, by the way. I don't feel like Shika Ichigo fits here in well, because of the way that his special damage works, as he wants to stay on the field. Let me counter that run real quick, as I was still in range for this. We're going to switch into Byakuya, right? And I'm not pushing damage here, I'm not paying too much attention to it. I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to be informative, and I'm just trying to go through the motions, you know. This is, for example, my first run that I'm doing here, He's going to jab, to grab me, explode me, whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to do this. I don't have to pay 100% of attention to this fight, right? Because in the end, it's not about the min-max damage that I'm going to do. It's about... Oh, I thought that was parry. There you go. It's more about the fact that I'm going to be able to just score. And that's our goal, right? To achieve 70k, all you have to do, and it sounds really dumb, is just to be able to score in the higher stages. So as long as you are doing damage, as long as you are playing this Frenzy Feast, you are able to score, you should be able to get 70k, right? And this sounds like really dumbed down, actually, but it's really true. If you can see anything that I'm doing exceptionally well, let me know. But I don't feel like I'm doing that. I'm going to counter this. I'm standing in a lot of attacks that he's doing, not dodging, just benefiting from the super armor that I have here. I'm not even switching into the Gigai to dodge stuff, for example, right? Or to use the ultimate to staggering amount of attacks. I'm just using it. Now he's in phase 2. We still have over, I think, a minute and a half left or something. And even if we don't have over a minute and a half left, he's going to die anyways. Let me see. Come on, Renji. Yeah, a minute and a half. There you go. I'm going to go using Getsuga. Unoptimized. No reason why I should. I didn't do the attack there either. Why should I? And now we are just going to counter this here real quick to add more to the... Let me counter this or not. Okay. But I can counter this one. There you go. And you can see I'm barely staying alive here. I'm having struggles. Right? Switching to Kiske here. Maybe I should pay attention for a second. But he's staggered anyways. So who cares? Let's go into Bankai. I will do a full rotation here with him. I will just try to eke out a little bit more damage. Let's keep up with the resistance slashes. So the dissipation is through. I'm going to Giga that one though. I'm not fancying dying. And even if it's unoptimized, right? I'm not playing well here. I'm playing like the Ankh that I am, right? But just to showcase, don't stress too much about this kind of stuff. It's like, even if I would lose Ichigo here, it's still fine. Block this, and then he's dead, and we have 20 seconds on the clock, right? Really unoptimized. And I'm still at 5-7. So even if I would record 5-7, that's quite good. Free to play, that is. And look at the difference. Yes, I was quite a bit slower, I missed out on, I could have done better, I can do better here too. But that's one of the core issues, is that we are expecting way too much investment that we need to put into our characters to achieve these numbers, right? And the same can be said for this part here. Yes, I have Tozen at level 100, yes, he's B2, but the thing is, once you get to know the boss fights, it gets really easy to optimize. And the second part is that you need to know what your kit does. When can you kick somebody out, right? I cannot do this here. So I'm going to be expecting that he's going to hit me because I don't know his attacks, right? So to be able to counter this now, I have to counter him. And if I don't counter this, I'm going to be stuck with this. Right? And I'm going to take damage. And I'm going to be unoptimized. And that's a big issue here. So what do? You need to learn the fights. And that's the second aspect of it. You need to learn the fights and you need to learn your teams. But even not knowing what a fight does, you can still perform fairly well. Right? I have done a lot of... I'm just showcasing the boss fight here, basically. I'm not matching up my attacks with the Bankai of Tozen, for example, right? I'm not playing optimally. I'm going to switch out to him. Let's do this real quick. I'm skipping over the fact that I can cooldown reduce. And this is all going to cost you in the long run. And being able to time stuff properly and to use your kit properly, even if you don't focus on it, you will still be doing good numbers here. And I think we are overestimating how much you really need to do good numbers. When you switch out, for example, into his battlefield skill, you always stagger. There is no way that you don't stagger. I can use my ultimate here to stagger him out of that. Let's switch out back again. I staggered him there too. Should I counter him for the dissipation? Yes, but I'm still doing dissipation damage anyways. So does it really matter if I do it or not? No, it doesn't. Because the benefits that I get by just playing the game is there. My set stamps, as dumb as it sounds, but my set stamps are doing the work for me, right? That's it. That just even me explaining stuff, even me loitering around on the battlefield and not doing crap, even me nearly hitting the 2 minutes, it's still 6,000 here, and I still hit the damage rating. So as soon as you have proper set stamp, you can hit the damage rating fairly easily, right? Just the timing is an issue. And this is what I want to give you on the way. Don't overthink Frenzy Feast. Work on your teams, yes, but most importantly, work on your stats, work on your set stamps. This has been a level 70 Shika Ichigo with this stats here, 25k power and this 22.5k power Renji with barely any attack in there. So if I can do it with these two teams, 23k here, then you have my Byakuya who was at 33k, Kisuke's 37k, but if I don't have crit rate, it doesn't matter, right? Not on Kisuke, but I mean on my other characters. And Tozen was the only one, and I didn't even use him properly to do all the damage that he can do. So don't stress about, don't overthink Frenzy Feast, just do it. Yes, I should put in the meme. But yeah, that's basically it. Just work on your characters, give them the best stamps that you can give, and if you don't have the proper stamps for them, give them the next best stamps that you have just to increase their stats, and then you should be able to hit Frenzy Feast 70k no issues whatsoever. No issue whatsoever. If I would use my premium character here, for example, like I did here, this is an easy 70k. Because you can deduct the 1000 here that I had, the 800 and the 700 here. I would still be above the 23.5, and I would need here to hit 22 or 21k about, right? So 8k lower than I'm right now. And it's still doable. It's still doable because you can hit fairly reliably in the higher end here. 3.8, 4.7, you're not missing out much. And that's basically the video for today. That's how you achieve 70k. Work on your set stamps, don't overthink. Just do it. Get used to the battles. Yeah, that's one thing, right? Get used to your teams, understand your teams. Like, the most bosses have 2 to 3 openers at most, right? I think Zaraki is the only one who has 2. So I know he's going to jump me. I can prevent it by just using Tozen, and then I can dodge the first one. He's going to follow, right? He's not going to jump, so I can discard here this real quick. And now that he's going to jump, I'm going to use Tozen, for example, to stagger him further. I'm going to displace him just to keep him juggled. I can counter him here. Again, I will use my ultimate just to displace him a little bit. And now I can jump away, displace once again. I have my Bankai here. I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to use the cooldown reduction. Because he didn't do a Giga yet, I'm going to wait for the Giga to drop, right? Now there is the Giga. Have you seen the Giga? Okay. There you go. That's the Giga. And now we can try to stagger him once again. I have the ultimate here ready. I can stagger him with the ultimate, do damage, move out real quick, just to see that he is not... Just in case that he wouldn't be staggered. I'm going to displace once again, right? And this is how you can do this with this team here, for example. He's going over there. I'm going to wait. And now I'm going to push him into the dissipation. As I'm getting my Bankai ready here, for example. And this is all knowledge about your teams, right? This is knowing what your team does. So he's dissipated. I have the B1, so I can do this now. And just to finish with Ranger here. And there you go. So once you understand your team, you're going to do much, much better. 6.7, right? And the damage is fine. You don't need that much DPS to finish Frenzy Feast. And that's basically it. You can always optimize if you need to, but to achieve 70k, that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Take care, peace, and if you like it, if this video was helpful, I nearly forgot to do this. Subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much. Bye bye.